Okay, great. It seems like Benny can hear us.
Jeppia says he
So
can
that's
hear
great.
both of us. I think Marlo and I can't hear each other, but I think everybody
I'm
else
gonna
can
go
hear
ahead
both of
and
us.
share my screen. Hi, everybody. Apologies for the delay, all. We were having some technical difficulties getting set up. So let me make sure we are all locked and loaded. And thanks again for your patience.
You like the energy efficiency, is that what the big selling point? That's right. Well, actually, this is the big selling.
All right. You should be able to hopefully see our screen right now.
We can, Marlo.
We're going to give a few more people a chance to get in. Jason, do you want to do a test real quick to see if we can hear your mic?
Are we going to see everybody's pictures?
She wants me to do what? Hello, can you hear
We're
me?
not hearing you, Jason, if you're able to try to reconnect to your microphone.
We can hear Jason. He can't hear you.
Jason and
Story
Marlo,
of
just so
Clubhouse,
you
maybe?
know, you can be seen and you can be heard.
Okay.
What is it if you don't do that?
All right, if I could go ahead and ask that everybody mutes themselves, if you haven't already done so. Want to
Are
make
we
sure
going
that
to
we
be
are
able?
sensitive of everyone's opportunities to listen. So if you could please mute yourselves. And then I am going to go ahead and kick us off. I'm Marlo Dykeman. I'm our executive director. I'm excited to do our first developer update. You can see our welcome and introductions are on the screen. I'm excited to offer this developer update and share it with the community, as it's a good update on what's happening with our phases, provides us an opportunity to learn about what's happening with the development of our roadways, and also updates on additional opportunities happening at our amenity. So without further ado, I would love to introduce Jason Giese, who is with Jasper Eco Development. And I'm going to be asking Jason to share a little bit about the overall vision and history as it relates to Jasper.
I'm on. Okay, so I'm just gonna wing it here. I cannot hear Marlo. My understanding is that everybody can hear me and see me. And so I'm gonna start by simply giving just an update or a background history of Jasper. And so Jasper was originally annexed and zoned in 2014. So property historically was in the county, the Yavapai County. It was annexed into the town of Prescott Valley in order to create a subdivision and gain the water for that subdivision. Jasper sits on 2 sections of land, approximately 1,200 acres, and has been approved for 3,450 units. The reality is that it's very difficult to get to max density. And we'll know what our eventual density is at some point in the future, frankly, in quite a bit of time. To date, we built phase one, which I think all of you as homeowners and residents are aware of. Thank you for coming and buying at Jasper. We're very proud of the project. We're very proud of getting the clubhouse completed late last year and getting it open and operational. Many of the folks that I've encountered are always wondering about what the future holds for Jasper, meaning when are we going to build more lots? So let's start with phase two. In phase two, Capstone Homes has started constructing houses last year. Mandalay Homes will start constructing houses very shortly over the next couple of weeks in phase 2C on the map that's on the screen. As time goes on, meaning this summer, Mandalay will move into phase 2B and be constructing houses in that phase as well. Phase 2A, 81 large lots that we're working with Capstone Homes on, and we're waiting on the receipt of what's called the Sub-X public report to be able to start selling houses in phase 2A. Lately, we've graded a new road in order to start to build a drainage structure on Stillwell Parkway at the Iron King Trail, so that we have a second way into phase 3, which is a little bit south off the map here, just a bit. Phase 3 is scheduled to start in June of this year. Along with phase 3 and through phase 3 will be Jasper Parkway South. So the first roundabout that we all drive through when we come into Jasper will extend south through phase 3. Thank you, Marlo. Where you see in green 272 lots. On the western edge on the eastern edge of our project, the western edge of Granville is where Jasper Parkway South will extend through Jasper into state land and then continue on to Highway 69 at the Stone Ridge Drive light, which is where Culver's is at presently. And so we'll build the road not only through our land in Jasper phase 3, but through the state land and connect it to the signalized intersection on 69 starting in June. We estimate that the total length of the job is approximately 6 months. So if all goes well, and we don't get wiped out in monsoon season and get some setbacks, hopefully by the end of December, we'll have Jasper Parkway completed and connected to Jasper so that we can use that road forevermore. That road will be owned by the town of Prescott Valley. Once it's completed, that will be a public road. So in conjunction with Jasper Parkway South is the construction of Jasper phase 3. Jasper phase 3 goes up the toe of, or the shoulder of Glassford Hill. As a result, it's a tougher build, meaning it's a longer timeline. There's rock that has to be dealt with, retaining walls. Just anytime you're building on something that is not flat, it takes longer. So phase 3 is estimated to take about 18 months to completion. So delivery of that phase finished would be by the end of 2024. And then to the north, phase 5, another 177 lots that would be directly north of phase 2 on Jasper Parkway extended to the north. That phase is expected to start as early as June. I'm going to tell you as late as the end of the year. We're working through some financing issues presently in order to identify when that phase will actually start. Hopefully it will be in June along with phase 3 and Jasper Parkway South. Phase 5 is approximately a 12-month build. flatter land, smaller phase, less lots, and access to Alcoma. Alcoma is a street that would be on the north side of the Granville clubhouse off of Tuscany. That access point to Jasper will be created in conjunction with the development of phase 5. So once we complete Jasper Parkway South and make the connection to Alcoma, we'll have 3 different ways in and out of Jasper versus the single point of entry that we have presently.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate how thorough you're being, as well as this graphic. I think is super helpful for everyone to see not only the history, but also the totality of what the master plan looks like, what the scheduling is for the different phases. I know a lot of you are raising hands and may have additional specific questions that you probably already have considered, perhaps emailed in advance of this meeting. And I just want to share that, rest assured, anything that we don't get a chance to cover as part of our time together today, we will. It'll either be addressed in our upcoming board meeting, which will be happening on April 20th. We'll also be sharing the recording of this video, as well as an FAQ with any other questions that weren't answered as part of the follow-up to this developer update. Additionally, keep an eye on your inbox, as we'll send updates as it relates to the community by email as well. Jason, anything else you want to share about kind of construction or roadways or anything else that's happening coming up with Jasper?
Nothing about the roadway, but obviously I can't hear anybody. People can hear and see me, so things are being relayed through my secretary, which I appreciate. So thank you, Michelle. I'll go ahead and work through some of the issues that I know are questions. One of those would be, okay, so Jasper is this massive project. You told us when the next phases are going to start. A logical question would be, how long does it take to develop Jasper through to completion? Part of that is dictated obviously by market conditions. But my best guess is that we've got approximately 15 years left to develop Jasper. To date, and including phase 5, and including the clubhouse, the Jasper Eco Dev, our entity, has about $140 million in the development once phases 3 and 5 are completed, along with phases 1, 2, and the clubhouse, Jasper Parkway South. A big part of what Jasper is our clubhouse, J Club. The goal and the vision was to create lifestyle in central Yavapai County without golf. We're obviously blessed by the connection to the Iron King Trail, which will continue to be maximized in the future as we link on new phases. But the ability for our residents to have the Iron King Trail that obviously connects over to the Peavine Trail and then on to, I mean, if someone were to ride a bike, you can probably go 100 miles all around Prescott with the great trail system. That's a huge asset of our project. And so our club ended up costing $16.4 million. The original estimate was $10.2 million. And so there were lots of questions when club dues were raised starting at the beginning of the year. The simple logic was that the actual cost of the club versus and we had estimated club costs with estimated club dues as a result of that cost, $10.2 and $100. When we finished the project at $16.4 million and close enough, costs had moved up 50% approximately. And so that was the reason for the dues increase of 50%. The financial model for the club, we'll probably need a minimum of 1,000 units occupied by residents in order to break it even. And I bring this up so that you guys have at least a snapshot of the financial underpinnings of what makes Jasper go. The 140 million that JED will have invested at the point that phases 3 and 5 are complete. That's one leg of our commitment, risk, opportunity. It's all balled up into the same bet, if you will. The other interesting piece of information I would think is that our operating loss in 2023 is forecasted at 1.25 million. And that is the operations of the HOA, J Club, and then getting food and beverage started here over the next 30 to 45 days. And so those items I think are important to mention so that people just understand history, how we got to where we're at, and where we're headed into the future. Beyond that, Marlo, maybe you could let Michelle know she could relay a question. And I'm happy to answer the questions that you would have and share them with the group.
Sure. I think you've covered a lot of them, Jason. The biggest ones that I think were popping out were related to kind of the construction, what to expect in terms of timeline. I think for people to understand, the context as it relates to dues is super helpful as well. And so thank you for providing that full context. You mentioned something that I thought was a good segue into our next topic, which is, here we go, related to our food and beverage partner. So, I want to make sure that everyone understands, as Jason spoke to that investment as it relates to our food and beverage partner. We are excited, and many of you have already heard this news, that Superb is opening up this week, which is Wednesday, April 12th. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, dine-in and takeaways, seasonal specials. They'll also have beer and wine for purchase as well. And so you're hearing that obviously in the totality of the vision for Jasper. And we're looking forward to really offering that to residents as well as the public, that it will be an opportunity as well for Superb to really be successful in getting their name out, and hopefully a lot of traffic with residents as well as public coming in to enjoy that food and beverage as well. And I do see some hands are raised. So I want to, again, rest assured, we're going to get to the majority of questions that have been asked prior to today's developer update. And if you have additional questions, you can go ahead and email Jasper at coherelife.com, and we can respond to those as we email out this recorded video and ensure that it is addressed as part of the FAQ. So please know that your questions will be answered. Jason, the next thing that I have on our schedule is to talk about the daily usage report. So I know we're getting a lot of questions as it relates to, how many residents do we have? What's the activity happening at the club? So we wanted to provide this snapshot to show, what's happening in terms of the overall activity throughout January through March. We have the fitness center, movement studio, living room, and the game room all captured. And all of this shows that as we're starting to get into nicer weather, we're starting to get more activity that's actually, coming as we're hitting the summer season and now in spring, is for people to see that there's also still opportunity for us to offer access to J Club beyond just residents. And so that's another topic for our time together today, is to provide an update as it relates to non-resident and open members. So Jason, would you be willing to speak to that and kind of the thought process and really what's in it for residents as it relates to the J Club open members?
Sure. Okay, so I've got a question here from Michelle. The open membership, the screen up before you ties back into the financial stuff that we were talking about. We have a massive investment. We're committed to operating the project at a significant annual deficit until we can break it even. And our goal is not to continually raise dues and create pressure on our residents. So there's an opportunity for us to offer on a limited basis a membership to the outside, whereby we would charge the outside member a premium over what a member would pay on a monthly basis. And we haven't set this policy yet. We're still talking about it. So if a member is paying $150 a month and a resident, is it reasonable to charge an outside member $250 a month? We'll make these decisions here shortly. Also, the term of what that membership will be: 3, 6, 9 months, not more than 12 months. And what our goal would be is to offset the operating costs, which helps us with our operating deficit and our costs on an annual basis, and helps the members by not putting a burden on the members that would be unfair or, I'm trying to find the right word. Unfair is maybe even not the right word, but is reasonable under the circumstances based on the facility, what can be done at the facility, the level of service at the facility. And so we're working through this idea presently, but the net takeaways is that would be that we would not sell an outside membership for a long-term basis, nothing over 12 months for sure. The outside member would have to pay a premium, and we'll set that rate. And then frankly, we don't know, how many people would or would not be interested in something like this, because the good news, bad news about the situation is that the good news is we're the only one in the marketplace that has an asset like this. The bad news is we're the only one in the marketplace that has an asset like this. And so we really can't look at a market comparable price or rate or deal structure, because you'd have to be in Peoria to find a similar type facility. And so again, we'll make those decisions here shortly as time rolls on. And the goal is to offset until we get to break even on an operating basis. And my best guess, I said this previously, but I'll repeat it again here. I think that it's going to take approximately 1,000 residents in order to break the club even. I'll share with you guys something that was shared with me when we were interviewing firms like Cohere for management. You can't create a scenario or a situation where a cheeseburger has to cost $70. And so balancing out the financial equation with all of the services entered, I'd love to tell you is an exact science, but it is not. And we're today, and will continue, especially throughout the first year of operation, we'll be feeling our way through what it takes from landscape maintenance to pool maintenance to staffing. And we'll be learning also from our residents and their comments, and adjusting our overall program to the best extent possible as time goes on.
Thanks, Jason. And I appreciate the commitment to, continuously being mindful of, how the community is living and what's possible, what the current status is as it relates to residents and number of homes. And so I think that is, I appreciate knowing that there's so much intentionality to, this thought process and this decision. And so thank you for sharing all that. I wanted to briefly make one quick update as I realize, and I'm going to go back on a slide. We had some inaccurate information here as I'm looking at the dinner options as it relates to the coffee club or the coffee bar opening for Superb on April 12th. The hours are 8 to 3 from Wednesday to Sunday. So dinner options not available, but there will be some things to nosh on. There will be some takeaway items. There will be some things available for breakfast and lunchtime, but wanted to make it clear that dinner will not be something that opens until the burger bar opens later on in May. So wanted to clarify that for those on the call as well.
Marlo, I can hear now.
Other updates to share with you all as it relates to engagement and communication is our website. We'll actually be hopefully launching the first week of May. It will, it's an investment, obviously, that's being supported by Jasper Eco Development. It's a way for you to easily navigate your life in Jasper. You'll be able to complete your design review application, enter in a community concern form, which right now are both being housed through VMS. So this will create a separate entity for you to be able to filter those up to your community life staff. There will be the events calendar. You will have the J Club info that will enable you to sign up for fitness classes and other programming that's going to be offered at the club. You'll have the chance to see other residents who are in the directory. There will be blogs like the recording of today's developer update, which will be shared on the website as well. We'll utilize it as a platform for the JCA minutes and financials. You'll have the opportunity to look at community standards and assessments, among other things. So certainly be a tool that will help streamline communication, make it easier for you to access the information that you need. Jason, anything you want to share about anything kind of community or communication or engagement related? Things that you're excited about seeing come to fruition?
Well, I think that when we get the whiz bang website put together, I think that will be a benefit not only to our residents to cohere on the management side, but it will also create even more opportunity for us to listen in on the community conversation and understand what we're doing well, what we're not doing well, what we can improve. And so, as I mentioned last time I was speaking, that's something that we are really keyed into. And so we'll continue along those lines with the modern website, I'm going to tell you. Moving forward, I think that obviously with the struggles we've had here today, I look forward to meeting in person. And I believe that our next meeting will be in person. And I don't know when that is, but I think that as we get stronger and better at what we're doing and we meet in person, hopefully what we can do is just continue the momentum and continue to build out a special subdivision and manage it to a level where I'd love to say that all residents would be happy with us. I recognize from my history in this business that might be pushing it just a bit, but if we can get the majority of the folks so that they're happy and excited about what we're doing, we're creating programming that is something that they're partaking in and utilizing. Our goal is to use our clubhouse and a real estate asset to create life and a vibe for what Jasper and J Club will become starting this summer. And we look forward to that. I'd love to say that's easy and that we knew exactly what we were doing. But the reality and the truth is that we put our money where our mouth is at. We've built a great facility and now we want to manage a great facility. And we'll work through that together. And so I guess I'd ask for consideration from some folks that I know that there's at least a couple folks out there that are grumpy with what we've done to date. That's normal in my life. The important thing is that we continue to move forward and get better from a month-to-month perspective. And I hope that by next year, this clubhouse is run really well. It's utilized very heavily, and it's the center of social life, if you will, in Jasper, because that was our goal on paper 5 years ago.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. And it's a great segue to what's next for Jasper. And so we're hoping that many of you have already seen the invite in the e-blast, or I guess the initial information. The invite with all the details and the ability to register is coming soon. But our Legacy Day event, which is kind of our first signature event, is kicking off on May 12th. Will be from 5 to 8. It'll be here in the J Club lawn. It'll be an opportunity for us to celebrate new traditions, have a barbecue with our neighbors, and also we'll have an amazing local band called Wheelhouse performing for our residents as well. And so that will be a specific event just for our residents as an ability to kind of kick off the signature event series and provide an opportunity for all of our residents to come together. Additionally, in May, we have our grand welcoming open house happening on Saturday, which will be the following day after Legacy Day, May 13th. It'll be a chance for us to open up our clubhouse to our builder partners, Capstone and Mandalay, for them to be able to get a chance to see how the club lives, get a chance to share it with some of their prospects or people that they want to introduce to the Jasper community. We'll have food and drinks up here. We'll have games and different activities happening, and it'll be from 10 to 4 as an open house type concept. So as Jason mentioned, you know, we're excited about these next steps and the opportunities to continue to come together, to continue to showcase the club, that we're learning and getting even better at how do we communicate, how do we provide these opportunities to come together, how do we make this a really thriving community where everybody is enjoying their time here at Jasper. And you heard Jason mention that, you know, again, this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Our in-person developer update, we do not have a date for yet, but it will be happening this fall. As more details become available, we'll certainly be sharing those with you, but know that we plan to offer these developer updates twice a year. We do have, as you heard me mention earlier, our JCA quarterly board meeting happening on April 20th at 10 a.m. You can submit questions all the way up until April 16th, and we'll field those through that board meeting. Our Zoom recording will also be provided as well as a follow-up to that board meeting. And then we hope that you're staying connected with us. If for some reason you're not getting these e-blasts with information, please be sure to contact connect@communitylife.com and they can make sure that you get set up on our e-blast. We also hope that you continue to keep an eye on those news, events, and activities that are coming in so that you can be the first to know and join us at all the amazing activities that are happening at Jasper. And with that, Jason, any final parting words from you before we say goodnight to all of our residents in attendance?
No, thank you for attending, and sorry my connection didn't work out great, and hopefully we're gonna have a great summer. Sick of winter. I saw people at the pool today. It was great. Hopefully we see more, and Jasper starts to come to life literally with folks utilizing the club.
Thanks, Jason. Certainly hope to see everybody up here at the club and at the pool. And as someone just reminded me, the email address that you can utilize to make sure that you're getting connected for VMS purposes, to make sure that you're on our e-blast distribution list, it is connect@coherelife.com. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Are you planning to answer questions that were submitted ahead of time?